Hello and welcome back to the Saturday Special Boarding Skate Podcast, Zamboni edition. If you're here to hear about the Saturday games, we're not covering them. Matt has put together some of the sheet. I will quickly share my screen to show you what I mean. Actually, this looks better. Can you see it okay? Here is the sheet we all love, the sheet we all care for. It's in the Discord.
That is the early slate.
The early slate. Oh, the early slate has the bottom stuff, but let's not focus on that right now. Early games, they all look pretty bad. Not a lot of pace as far as shot volume. A couple okay for goals in the Buffalo, Minnesota, and the Vancouver game. I posted a bunch of shot numbers already for the entire slate. Didn't finish going through all these games yet, but again, it's kind of bad. The middle games, not all, but like pretty much all look good. Lot of high event, lot of decent opportunity. The Islanders games look good, like always right now. Flames, that game's probably like one of the better for shots. Tampa, Utah looks good. Washington, Florida doesn't, but whatever. Late games, Edmonton stands out in a big way, but no McDavid, no Draisaitl. They just posted lines and power plays. What a mess. Will probably post a slip, and I might avoid the early games entirely, but maybe I'll take a look at St. Louis and throw something in. Any thoughts on the games in general, or any changes that you are particularly interested in, or are you ready to get right to Zamboni?
No, let's just do Zamboni nonsense. I don't really have anything special, so I'm playing all the slates, but just not really in position to talk about them because I didn't really do much by way of preparation. So yeah, I say let's get into the good stuff, what the people hopefully are clicking for.
Yes.
Yeah, unless there's something else you wanted to do here.
No. Do you mind if I tweet out the graphic with the the thing and say to look at it? Or okay, cool. Making sure
that's fine.
Okay.
I can't imagine there are people who are like, damn, I would really like that, who haven't yet joined the Morning Skate podcast, but hey, maybe we'll catch a couple.
I feel like I want to say you'd be surprised because I get people. I mean, even the last YouTube video, someone's like, I would love to look at that sheet more. And I was like, brother, welcome to the Discord. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Anytime you tweet out the Discord link, we get a bunch of porn bots. So I'm very excited too.
And only I like that.
And every Stochastic member, apparently.
Yes, because they're all gooners over there at the Stochastic site.
Yes. I assume, did you listen to Lulz from Thursday?
No.
Oh, you have no idea what I'm talking about then?
What? Tell me. Maybe I did and I forgot I did.
The Stochastic NBA playback channel got hacked hacked. It got intruded upon on Tuesday or Wednesday, and they streamed a bunch of gay porn for 30 minutes basically.
Okay, I haven't listened to this yet. I gotta.
Lulz is absolutely hysterical because it was Greg Ehrenberg who was like the host on the stream when it happened. He basically got kicked off because he gave someone. I won't spoil it, but it's so funny. It's so good, and that's Peter Overzet's and Brick 75's show. If you people
very oh my god, I know. Lulz is one of my absolute. I can't believe I didn't listen to it. Friday just got really really busy with work, and I just didn't get. I didn't even get through one podcast. I'm pretty sure, and normally I just tune that up for Fridays. So that's on me. I will listen to it. Definitely check out Lulz. Always good to give some. A shout out to much lesser, smaller platforms that cover sports that no one cares about, especially people like Peter Overzet who covers like NFL best ball and not hockey.
Yeah.
So
I would say far less successful DFS players and content creators.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've come here. So we have a couple of questions already. How many season-long best balls have a chance to make the final for both of you? I mean, Matt 0. I have so many that like there's a couple that I'm like, oh, this one's truly dead. I'm not catching 35 points, like whatever. And then I'll look like 2 days later and I'm like, I'm down 6 points now. we're down to the final 2 days. So a lot of that kind of crazy movement is probably gone for me to think like a team that's actually way out of it's going to get back. I currently have 3 advancing teams as of right now to the finals, and a couple that are pretty close, and a few that are just not going to get there. I think only one of my teams is like a mile ahead. I think it's, let me look the exact numbers. This one's 7. That one's like 12. This one's I have 335 and third is 316. Still not, but I think my favorite is my best team with 373.9 is in second, and third is 368.9. Just pod luck is interesting, but yeah, no, I think my absolute stone cold best would be 5. I don't think I'm ever getting above 5, and I could, in theory, still get 0. Like, that's not completely out of the realm, I guess. But after tomorrow, I'll know for sure. I think I'll end up with 2 or 3.
That's great. I was just putting this together to screen share while you were talking.
Yeah, didn't work out.
I was just a touch late on the draw there. Anyway, I advanced 15 teams to the quarters and got 0 through the semis. And if you change the rules so that the top 6 in the quarters pods advanced, I would advance 0 teams. So I just got absolutely wiped this season. Yep. So it goes. We're on to Zamboni season. So, anyway, yeah, Jesus, there's so much going on today. There's college basketball. I'm watching Counter-Strike right now. There's tennis on. There's PGA. Obviously, hockey just started. But here we are, degenerates on underdog.com, drafting. Well, one of us is drafting Zamboni teams. DJ in the great state of New York has no access to Underdog anymore.
Can you actually do you reshare that sheet you had up a second ago? I actually that's actually for me now.
Yeah.
But I've already gone over my feelings. Again, it's just another get punished situation, which I'm not gonna. There's really no sense in being like, oh, like this is why, because I don't really know why. I have my feelings. We did get another question about builds in general. We're probably going to get into some of the. You know what? It's not like, is it? So the question is it 1D build centered around Makar doable in the Zamboni? I mean, like, we're going to go over a lot of stuff.
Look, I if you haven't seen it yet, I don't recognize your username, so maybe you have no idea. I did write the initial best or Zamboni manifesto where I basically ran through some sims and quantified the data. That specific question is answered, so I highly encourage you to go check that out. I'm trying to just see if we can get a draft going, but I kept getting an error. All right, we're good.
Let me join.
All right, got to zoom in on. What should I do?
Then, this is the link for anyone that uses the link. I don't think you can make the link like actually clickable.
No.
In this.
It's pretty easy. Moods.beehive.com. Just type that in your browser. So I mean, now that we're waiting, I can talk about it a bit. So the Sims suggested that 1 or 2D doesn't really matter. Just don't draft more than 2. And I think that makes perfect sense. You know, putting some no ball takes onto it is basically that D is the lowest scoring position. So if you are relying on flex points from defensemen, you're generally struggling. Now, does that mean, a Cale Makar, Evan Bouchard, and if Dougie Hamilton's back, just as an example of 3 defensemen you can go nuclear, does that mean they're all guaranteed to not hit your flex? Of course not. But like, just in general, drafting more than 2 is a bad idea. But the Sims indicated that between 1 and 2, there wasn't really a huge difference. Obviously, if you're only drafting 1, you would want to be overstacking, that team, so that if that team doesn't make it to the finals, you're not winning any money anyway. So we still have 4. So if you guys want to draft, now is a good time to hop in.
I posted the article on Twitter as well. So if you follow me on Twitter, which I have to assume most that would join the stream and watch probably do at this point, I posted it with the link to watch along the article. Looking at it right now a little bit again. I mean, I've looked at it I obviously read the whole thing. That at the time I could still draft when you posted it. That lasted about, I think, maybe 8 hours until I think I lost ability to draft. I don't know. I mean, so yeah, last year's team that won was a Makar super stack, and they also had Hedman. So 2 defensemen. I tend to lean 2 defensemen over just going with the one, but I think I could be convinced. It's got to be rare to get, like, I think the problem with this is saying like a 1D build centered around Makar. Well, if that is centered with McKinnon or they're not Rantanen, Jesus Christ. But without McKinnon, which it probably is without McKinnon, I find that to be like kind of like how does it get there? You know what I mean? Like that specific scenario where you're like, well, I have Makar and then I draft a bunch of, other guy, like, and well, you don't have McKinnon probably. Like you're winning with that. I don't know. Like I feel like you're kind of like not giving yourself enough upside at every other position, and you're trying to say, well, because Makar is getting there, well, McKinnon's now getting there. Like I guess there's
sorry. Did I just completely fuck that up? I was thinking of goalies, not defensemen. Hey, the data shows 2D is good, not 1D.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I would say definitely. I would say
and
more than often, I just gotta have 2 on there.
And I mean, this is going to be skewed a lot by the sorts of teams that were built like this, and I'm assuming a lot of these were Cale Makar solo teams. I haven't done a deep dive, but there's only 350 of them out of a contest with, I think we had 10,700 entrants. So like it's a very small number, but you can see that basically 2 defensemen is where you just don't lose basically. And I write some takeaways in here and whatever else so you can check out. But that's just one of the things that was covered. I did run, I guess while we're waiting, I did put together something last night about the 100 sims I did, just to sort of profile like what they looked like. It's not super elaborate or anything, but just showing in the 100 sims how often each team won their first round matchup, the division round, the conference, and the Stanley Cup. I found it interesting that just in order of Stanley Cup winning percentage, Dallas won 23% of the time, Edmonton 18, Carolina 15, Florida 14, Colorado 8, Rangers 5, so on. Everyone else less than 5. Washington and Tampa pouring out. They never won one. The 5+ stacks of each of these teams, you didn't see Dallas as the far and away best expected value team. It was actually Florida. I don't know. I don't know if that's interesting or not. Also, Colorado was 3rd in expected value, despite being 5th in Stanley Cup win rate. Obviously, Florida makes the Stanley Cup a lot, 29% of the time, but not any more than Carolina or Dallas. So, I don't know. I was just curious. I don't really know why.
Yeah, honestly, my takeaway from that is, maybe like the ultra galaxy brain, like I actually know this better than anyone else. Like I can draft, whatever teams to make the correlations. Like maybe you should try to say like, maybe I should try to at least get some semblance of one of these top 4 teams, even if I am kind of putting together a build that's a little bit weird. What do those top 4 teams look like going into this year is, I don't know. I mean, do you think there's any like major takeaway going forward from it, right? Like we're looking at, okay, this is what it was last year. Moving forward, are you like going to like not puck luck, Jesus Christ, money puck and saying, okay, like these are the teams that have the highest odds right now to win the cup. Like, should I try to at least make sure I'm including one of them?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. Like, it's one of those things you could do a million sims, and of course you'll find several 100,000 iterations where 2 teams that aren't favorites to make the cup make it. But in general, the teams that are most likely to win the Stanley Cup are going to progress to the final round. Like that's just sort of what you need. Something that I just another final thing before we get drafting. I saw Vegas won 3 times, and I'm like, okay, well, Vegas overall doesn't look too good. Like, let me, expected value wise, let me just check the sim, make sure nothing's completely broken. When Vegas wins the Stanley Cup in the 3 simulations there, their expected value, of course, is through the roof. So, it's not anything like I just was doing this as sort of like a check on myself because I figured people might be curious like what the Sims underlying it looked like. And there's all sorts of player level distributions you could look into and pick at, but in general, I felt pretty good about the process. I would have loved to do 500 or 1,000 Sims just to get more data, but my computer couldn't handle it. So, yeah, I don't know. Was there anything else questions wise that you had? Otherwise, that's really all I had from our perspective to share.
Yeah.
Or if in the chat anyone has any like odd questions, I might be able to answer them. I might not be able to.
I
But
think
while we
yeah.
wait,
Well, I think the number, I don't know, but I'll just say this and then you can kind of correct me as I go. I would say a few takeaways. Number one is I there are some roster construction points made, but I would also take every one of them with a small grain of salt because like if you start every build has its own issues as far as saying like, well, two defensemen is optimal, right? It seems to be the best over like this aggregate of data and last year's results. But like if you've started a build that doesn't get a defenseman until round 8 for whatever reason, like it just like you probably want to get 3. Like the expected value of that lineup is in its own vacuum in a sense. So I wouldn't take every one of these as like this is scripture, this is how I'm building. I'm not going to deviate from the expected value. Like know that when you're building, that every one of these needs to be taken into its own draft window. And again, Makar is a good example of one where it's like, I've drafted Kale Makar. Okay, well, now you're in a completely different frame, right? You're not drafting 3. You're like, that would never be helpful. So like, just kind of keep that in mind that it is a bit specific to the build you've started with.
Here's one
okay.
just theoretical. If you're drafting Florida, for example, and you get Reinhart, Barkov, maybe Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Bennett, and Sam Miscavige and Bob, and you're like, man, like Aaron Ekblad kind of sucks. Like, I have my 5 Florida plus goalie. Maybe I just take 3 Western defensemen because, like, if Florida makes the Stanley Cup, I'm good to go. So I don't even want. Someone's talking about system in the chat. We'll talk about that in a second. So like there are ways to go about it where like I would say it's more about the stacks though and not about the roster construction because I do feel like taking 2 defensemen in the 10th and 11th round is totally fine. Like I don't have a real issue, especially if you're going to. I mean, let's just look at ADP. I mean, shit. After ADP 50, there's still 2 Washington guys, Seth Jones, Morgan Riley. Like, I mean, there's dudes who will almost certainly one of them will be in the Stanley Cup final that are perfectly fine. So, like, I have no problem drafting, a Shane Gostisbehere and Miro Heiskanen or whatever and just saying that's my decor. It's not going to be great, obviously, but, like, I don't think you need to force in a third defender just because of limited ADP investment. You're just going to make it up on, I think, the flex position and whatever else. So, yeah, I don't know. All right. What the hell is Diego talking about here?
I read it twice and I'm more confused than when I started.
Patrick Bet David from Valuetainment is Sisima. Patrick Bet David. What the fuck does that mean?
I have to assume his middle name isn't actually Bet. That would be crazy. His parents would have had to have just known something.
He is an Iranian American businessman and podcaster.
This is Sisima.
He has a multi-level marketing company. All right.
And this we believe is Sisima based on.
If he was actually born in Iran, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never been.
Where's his DFS exploits?
Yeah, I'm gonna need more DFS exploits as well.
Yeah, I don't see.
And
any,
also, where and like how do we like where is Sisima coming up? Like the name Sisima, we're gonna need more information on this. But I will at this point, it's the best lead we have.
All right, here we go. This entrepreneur thinks you should drop out of college. Wait, 2015. Okay.
Damn it, it's too late. Well, if I would have known in 2015.
Yeah. What the hell?
He was beating me in DFS probably then.
Yeah. I'm just
And I was just sitting there gambling away, trying to pay for beer to get through college. He could have said, stop, just gamble.
All right, here we go. Are we? Nope. We need one more to draft, guys. If you want to watch us figure out who this dude is,
do it for me. I'm the one that can't draft. I would kill to draft.
All right, Elite Mastermind. That's definitely
Bet David. There's no way that's his real name. Like
March
he has to have...
19. All right, we missed it.
We could have joined. Wait, it's upcoming.
Yeah. Yo, PATT Bet David Pat. Pat as in Matt. Am I Sissima?
That's you.
Wow.
It is.
That's crazy.
Pat...
Wait, careers? Hold on.
But how do you cheat in DFS? Like
yeah, he doesn't, obviously, but
like yeah, that's like okay. I mean, the only ways you could say that is to say that like he has multiple accounts that he's using to get more than 150. Oh, starting. But
we're live. I am the 6 hole.
Even you're not going to buy one of his hats?
All right.
You want to work for DJ? You already do work for Sissima. What are we saying?
Yeah. I am on his payroll. Or no, he is on my payroll.
Okay, we are. Yeah, the draft is starting. We can go over Patrick Bet David later and talk more about how. I just want to know how you treated DFS. Like that's always been a thing where I've been like, you can't really like.
No.
Even if you had 300 lineups, like you'd have to have a lot of really good shit to use to make that worth your while.
The number one way to cheat at DFS is that 3-man stuff, and we know that Sissima does not work with anyone in 3-mans because he just wins them all. He doesn't split with anyone. He just absolutely. But yeah, Diego, good call. We will be on the lookout for more clues.
I mean, he's in the Discord. Sissima.
Yeah, I'm sure that's really him.
It's probably not like you're saying, but I truly do wonder, like, who is the person that went into our Discord and was like, I'm going to make a fake Sissima person and then go into Discord and troll. I don't know. Okay, well, we're starting the draft. Chris was up first. He went with McKinnon, Matt's favorite player in the league. Is that the 101 now?
I do. Yeah, I take McKinnon 101. I think
okay, I don't even know
the other day, but okay, here, let me see if I can move this and then share the board. Is that something?
It's something, I suppose. Is that what the kids want? So anyways, McKinnon, Rantanen's the 2. God, I'm out of the streets.
I think that's fine. I think that's big enough for the people.
So again, Rantanen 2, Leon 3, McDavid 4, Reinhardt 5. Matt is on the clock. That would be your Colorado, your Dallas, your Edmonton, your Florida. Is there a team?
How about Winnipeg? Kyle Connor Hellebuck?
It's a build, right? I mean, if you go to moneypuck.com right now and you sort by cup odds, they are 5th at 9.6%. To make the final, they're at 19%. They're already they have not clinched the playoffs, but they don't play today and they can clinch today with I can't remember who losing, but like one team loses and they're in. Like it's that close right now. So they're obviously making the playoffs, and their first round matchup should be against a team that is pretty bad. So it feels pretty good that they can finally get over that first round hump, get into the second round. I like it just fine.
All right.
You can start your 3 goalie build with Connor Hellebuck. Yeah, I mean the Heiskanen situation feels like
crazy,
a tough one. The Heiskanen situation is crazy. I just don't even know at this point. Like that was like week to week.
Did I just revolutionize Best Puck draft streaming?
I mean from my angle it looks a little small, but I don't know how it looks on like actual. Yeah, just get rid of us. This is way better. Who cares about seeing us? This is perfect. I would say that Miro, I would be somewhat surprised if he's back before the first round based on what we know. Like
Yeah.
maybe at the tail end in a game 7 situation, but it sounds like there was obviously some sort of a procedure done, and that
I also
there.
I also struggle to see how he overtakes Thomas Harley's power play role. In all honesty, all right. So I think Scheifele's a pretty obvious pickup here. Do we just add Jack, take the falling ADP, and just say, like that? That feels like the right play.
On
But
the other side of the bracket from Winnipeg, unless if they are a wild card team, which I think is pretty much.
I think it's possible, but it's not likely.
Yeah. Just looking, let me just pull it up really quickly. So Vegas is 1 right now in the Pacific. So yeah, it would take quite a fall. I think I tend to agree with it.
Right.
You're getting a Western Conference matchup, and I think this is, again, like I talked about this on the only stream I've done for Zamboni, that people just don't want to do the Western or Eastern Conference final onslaughts. And I get it to an extent, but I mean, I think that was basically the winner in 2 years ago, was a Eastern Conference onslaught. You moved on Rangers, you had some semblance of Vegas on the other side only, and then you had a few Panthers, and like the Panthers failed a bit in the finals, which allowed people that had some of them, which was not many, because remember they were like the last team in the East, to kind of jump above the rest who had some Vegas. Just a little bit of Vegas was nothing else. So it has worked in the past. It's not commonly done. Of course, you're not building only Western Conference. You're going to get something on that East side, but to kind of overstack what is a very likely, it really, and just look at the odds. Like nothing is incredibly likely, but to make the third round, these are 5 and 6 on Money Puck. There's only one team in the West with better odds currently, and that's Colorado. Colorado falls. You're looking at the 2 best teams right now.
All right.
Edmonton, of course, has a lot of injuries that are hurting them, but yeah, I know
Morrissey makes it here.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're sort of looking at Eastern teams. I don't think there's anyone on Vegas we'd reach for at this moment. So, Toronto, Washington.
You have a chance to get some Carolina, it looks like, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Money Puck has them as number 1 right now to win the Cup. I don't know if I entirely agree, but
all right.
I think that's at least interesting to go that route.
So if we can only get one of Aho or Jarvis, starting the Carolina thing, who do you side with here? Just for
I know. I mean, your build's getting a little weird, but I mean, God, it's so hard not to say Aho though, and just say that you're done at center, because I just don't think you're going to need another center at that point. And you can really, I think you have to take Aho, but it feels a little, and I think that this is just a better way of saying, you know what, like Aho is such a catalyst here that their lineup changes all the time. If something isn't working, you could certainly find yourself getting, Stankoven back on that top line, getting him late, building around, but like Aho is the centerpiece. He is the guy that's seeing 22 minutes a night, no matter what. I think Jarvis too. Up there goes Jarvis, anyways. Like those are the 2 obvious safest guys there, but not going to get both.
Yeah. Looking across the room, we have Chris on a Colorado Florida track. We have Chance McCurds with Dallas onslaughted, and then he picks up Tampa. We'll see what he goes from there. We have Edmonton, Toronto for Kitties. McGill kind of going. I guess okay. I see what he did. The McDavid start with Edmonton, and then he built out the Tampa stuff with an Ovi thrown in, and then Colorado and Florida with Jarvis for Tickle My Degen. So, I certainly think we're okay to go with a 4th team if needed, but I would be totally fine adding on some Winnipeg pieces. Are there any? I mean, Filardi, Ehlers.
Yeah, I mean,
do you have a preference between those 2? Because I think the play is maybe honestly both of those 2 plus.
I don't even think that's wrong to say both. It's the ceiling is obviously higher on Ehlers because of the volume, but Like you could definitely make the argument that Velarde's goal upside with his
All right.
power play role is pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't mind.
Shea Theodore should be back this week.
Yeah, I don't mind going just build that Western Conference out, get some Carolina pieces at the end. Then the only one downside to Carolina, which isn't crazy, is that actually, I mean, they're pretty much 100% locked into the second in the Metro, so they're not going to see a wild card team, and nobody can realistically jump the Devils without a immense amount of help. So you could even try to grab a piece of Ottawa.
Aiden Hill or Dorofeyev? I'm thinking.
I would probably go Doro. You've had so much Winnipeg, and you're planning on more. That like taking a second goalie just feels useless to me. Like if you're saying Winnipeg, I mean, I guess the only thing is you're giving yourself a second out if Winnipeg doesn't get there.
Well, it's more. I think it's more that Hellebuck, wins a 5-4 game in a sweep and doesn't see much shot volume, and all of a sudden you're losing goalie by 30, 35 points.
Yeah,
that's the only thought.
So you're a 2 goalie slappy then.
I certainly am not married to the idea. Again, I took Dorofeyev because Dorofeyev is the GOAT. But
he's kind of the GOAT, right? I forgot about that part.
So I think from here then, if we're going one goalie, we would go the 3 Vegas. We're done with Vegas. We add the 2 Winnipeg pieces that we talked about.
Honestly, I mean, how many? But you got 3 more picks. I mean, they kind of feel like they're all going to be wingers. Yes. Or maybe 1 goalie. Can I even do Raptors?
It is 4 more picks, by the way.
Probably good.
Yeah, so definitely 3 wingers.
4. Okay. And 9, 10, 11, 12, 4.
Yeah. And then,
definitely 3. And then it's if you take a goalie or not. It's probably I think this is like quite a good build. Is there no, what I was saying before though, let me just say, I don't think Brady's gone yet, but like, is this a team that you could say, well, we kind of maybe need a little bit more upside at wing, and Brady wouldn't possibly see Carolina until the second round, if even then? You could consider saying screw it, like I'm throwing in Brady to get a little more upside. It gets off of obviously the stacks you've built, but you have a pretty great team otherwise, and Kyle Connor's great, obviously. But you're saying like my wing 2 is Dorofeyev, which again in this scoring system it's 1 center, 1 winger, 1 D, 1 goalie, 2 flex. Eichel and Aho should hopefully fill, but like, is it worth saying that, right? Like, or are you more of the mindset of like, I have enough here to get me through? And
what is the Ottawa playoff odds at the moment? That is my question. Are they like 90+%, or are they like
91.2?
Okay.
All
right. I think I buy that. I like that thought.
They're up 5 points on the next wildcard team with the same amount of games played.
Okay.
Then that is the Islanders. Everyone else, they have a game or 2 in hand on. It feels like Detroit and Columbus have kind of bowed out. This Rangers game today could actually really be almost the final nail. If Ottawa wins and the Rangers lose today, it feels like that's gonna. And the Islanders, like the Islanders are still there. It just kind of feels like there's no way that's gonna actually happen. But
all right. Looking across the board, no one's gone too far out of their lanes. Tickle my DGen, Florida, Colorado, and Carolina. He grabbed Svechnikov with Jarvis, so that leaves us grabbing one of Stankoven, Blake, or Taylor Hall to go with Aho, in my opinion. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. McCurds makes a really good point here, too, because Ottawa would certainly, not certainly, because Montreal could, in theory, overtake them for the 1, but the very clear path is them going to play Florida round 1. And you're not saying Florida fails entirely here, but like if there is an upset round 1 against Florida for the fact their defense is a bit in shambles or whatever you look at, you're kind of looking at, I think, getting even more leverage on the entire field by saying Ottawa makes it to round 2, and they're not going to play Carolina until the earliest round 3 at that point, which could be, kind of this crazy Western Eastern. I mean, this could, again, you're kind of putting the shoot the moon scenario, but getting there matters. And like Brady is clearly going to score a ton of points in any scenario where Ottawa even kind of gets close to winning round 1. But back on track here. Sorry.
No. No, I'm literally just looking at these teams. I think everyone stayed in their lane and not gone too crazy. I really do like LA. I wish I'm not going to say I wish Drew Doughty would get hurt, but like I wish there was a way to get defensemen in for LA, because like I just don't think Drew Doughty's ever going to be relevant in a series unless they go to 7 games and the power play actually does something. Anyway, we have 2 more picks to go. Velarde, I think that's pretty obvious. And then, do you have a preference between Stankoven, Blake, or Taylor Hall?
I think I'd lean Stankoven, but I could be convinced any way you look at it. I just think
we even saw him produce in the playoffs last year. So, like, if that matters to Rod Brindamore, it's certainly reason to believe he's not going to shrink under the spotlight or whatever. So I'm guessing when Svechnikov is back, it takes away from either of Blake or Taylor Hall in the top 6, but probably not both. So I think Carolina is a really good team to, just for the value. I mean, you're getting their best player at 35, which isn't at the level of the other best players in the league. But if you're talking about needing the team to make the Cup final, you have a banged up New Jersey team without Jack Hughes to go through, and then the Washington Capitals to go through. Like, you're not talking about a gauntlet until you get out of the division. And that's nearly set in stone based on, the seedings and whatnot. So I think Carolina is like a really solid option at this point in time. So McCurds grabbing Drew Doughty, telling me to shove it. Cool. Nothing.
LA is just, I think there's a few things that, again, like, we're going to do some review on some of our takes from the beginning of the year. LA is one of those that I feel like we were just like, Doughty goes down and everybody, I had people in my DMs like, are you betting them to miss the playoffs? And I'm like, absolutely fucking not. Like, this is such a good team. I just don't get it. Like, I feel like there's just this comfortableness in saying like this number of teams are going to change their pole positions, and they just seem like an easy. We are firing another one, by the way. Yes, thank you, Chris. Yes. Matt just pulled it up, and we're waiting on one, so it should be quick. But there's a comfortableness in saying like 4 teams in, 4 teams, like 2 on each side, 3 on each, and like the West was like, how do you find the teams? And they just seem like the easiest one to kind of pluck in and say they come out for a more fun team. So I think a lot of people were pretty in on that, but we held true. We held true to our Kings.
All right,
now the narrative seems to have flipped to like, could these guys beat Edmonton round 1? And it's like, I hope so. Edmonton ruined me last year.
Mm-hmm. Lego and Knuckle join us. Thank you to
Matt, I have bad news for you.
What's that?
Vancouver scored. Do you want to guess who?
Quinn Hughes. Oh my god.
He had the primary assist, but it's the guy that I believe said hated because of his illness. I think that was
Dakota Joshua. Wow.
Yeah, God, that's really sad that you disrespect people because of their illnesses, which is something I frankly don't stand for. But alas,
no. If it's a heart condition, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No. I remember that now. That is my bad.
All right. 101, McKinnon.
Also, just for anybody wondering, which I don't know. Again, if you somehow don't have this, I'm just going to put the money puck predictions in the chat. So if you want to pull them up, if you're thinking like, I'd love to see this while I'm drafting or whatever.
Yeah.
Is it perfect? So, obviously not, but it's what most people use. So
quickly, what is your concern level on Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl? Specifically for this contest, not for I have many concerns for my MVP bet on Draisaitl, but for this Zamboni
Yeah.
contest. What are your concerns on those two?
I think it's lower on Draisaitl than McDavid right now. It's probably going to end up being a non-factor, but the concern more is I feel like we really don't know what these injuries are at all. It is more than anything the problem here. Like I don't think that they're entirely in jeopardy of missing much time, as much as do either of these injuries actually hamper their ability to produce in fantasy. They're still going to, and well, at the level we need them to, right, to meet the third, fourth, fifth overall picks. And I feel like Draisaitl's probably lower body based on the stuff we heard, and like it sounds like he's going to be okay. McDavid, I have no idea.
Yeah, Draisaitl played an entire postseason on one knee.
Yeah,
So like, I think that's fine.
yeah. McDavid
I
feels
agree
like
with you. The latest we have from the coach is that he expects them to each miss about a week, but only McDavid's going in for quote imaging. So like that is different. That is not a good thing in theory. So I don't know. It's just certainly something that we should be reacting to, and it seems like the lobbies are. If I think that's twice in a row, right? That Rantanen's gone before McDavid.
Yeah.
So
It's, I mean, Dallas is, just frankly, and it's my team. I picked to win the cup to begin the year, and it kind of felt like everything is perfect in the world. I'm not mad about that pick at all. I think that some of the results are, as of late, where they're not really maybe looking as good as they did, and most people are saying, well, that's because they're missing Miro Heiskanen. And like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with anyone that like the fact they have to jam in as much. What's his freaking name? Cody Ceci and Lyubushkin as they can handle because of the fact they don't have Miro Heiskanen is worse. But I don't know if the Miro effect is quite as strong as people think. Like I still think this is like again, I think the money puck and things like that. Like they're kind of missing the boat a little bit on the Stars. I think they're better than most people think. But the reason that I think Rantanen is getting a bit of a boost is just how easy it is. I mean, look at this team right now. Rantanen, Robertson, Ottinger. It's just these clicks are perfect, easy, always there for you. It feels like you're not really competing with anyone at that point. But Matt, you've made 3 picks. I don't think I've heard you say any of them other than McKinnon. So where are we sitting?
Yep, I grabbed McKinnon at 1, and honestly, I've seen Florida and Colorado just go back to back to back to back to back to back. Like every time I seem to see a draft, it's just those teams. So I dove down the board a bit. I made sure to get Blackwood because I think there's a lot of depth options in Colorado now that we can pick from. So I grabbed Blackwood in goal, and then I just started off a Washington train with Ovi. So, we can go something. My idea is just something, pretty 6-4-2, 6-4-1-1 type deal. Obviously, we have defense to worry about, so I think that's going to be one of the one-offs. We can bookmark a John Carlson or Chikrin type for later in the draft. But with Washington, we also get to dive into some relatively undrafted players like Pierre-Luc Dubois, Protas, McMichael. Obviously, Dylan Strome goes in just about every draft, as does Tom Wilson. But I thought that would be maybe not unique in some stretch, but just a way to get a little different than fighting McGill here for Colorado and Florida pieces, basically, is what I wanted to avoid.
Okay. Please check Twitter when you have a second, because I just had the ultimate good tweet.
Oh, boy.
That goes to everybody. I mean, what timing? I just wanted to see if by the way, if you're playing the slate today on DFS for the early games, the Sabres have put things in a bit of a blender. 11-7, Peterka, McLeod, Thompson top line.
Oh boy. I did not realize you were on the clock. All right. You know what? I'm gonna grab 2 goalies. I'm gonna grab Logan and Tom Wilson. Just this one's a 2 goalie build. Fuck it.
The Sabres official account tweeted Bedard Docker was in, and then Hamilton said that Docker didn't take any rushes and that Malenstein, Kozak, and Lafferty did. So maybe they're not 11-7. We're not sure. So that actually, but the top line was at that line. So interesting. So yeah, Matt is sitting here. Oh, let me throw everything on the floor. Colorado, Washington. What could go wrong?
Well, what is going to go wrong? You tell me.
So to win the Stanley Cup, this would be on Money Puck 3 and 4 for odds below Carolina and Florida. Looking at pretty good teams that are projected to have well over 100 points, teams that are projected to have probably so Colorado is Dallas, probably almost definitely. That is like there's two matchups that seem to be almost 100%, and those are the two: Carolina, New Jersey, that I mentioned earlier, and Dallas, Colorado. With that in mind, of course, when you're drafting, that is incredibly important, because when you're thinking about the next team that you're going to put in, and you have any of those four in any capacity, to make sure you're not drafting. So like if you're saying, oh boy, like Rupe Hintz has slipped, and you have McKinnon, Blackwood, insert another player or not, do not take him, because you're not going to get more than one round of scoring there. So yeah, you're queuing up some Washington. What is left on that? Let's look. So
I definitely want Val.
Yeah, I was gonna say Val's still around.
So yeah,
you have 11 seconds
and Val makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, take Val now.
Yeah, so
a little early, but like
we're sitting McKinnon. Oh, hey, I don't think ADP really matters in this draft format, honestly. Which is why I get pretty upset when drafts get thrown out. Like, obviously there's an edge to combinations, but I don't think like projection is all that relevant, because it's all about the team advancing. As long as you're drafting top 6 players, basically. All right, since we have a competitive McGill with Colorado, I'm just going to grab Lehkonen as well. There is an argument to be made that, oh shit, I didn't queue it up. Oh well. Okay, never mind. If you want Lehkonen, take him. But I forgot to actually queue up Lehkonen, apparently. So Drouin and Lehkonen, I think, are very interchangeable. I don't know how much this ADP number matters. Like, is Drouin going to be 5% drafted and Lehkonen 85% drafted? If so, I want Drouin every day of the week. If it's something where it's like, 45% and 35%, like, I probably just prefer Lehkonen. So I don't really know how to use these ADP numbers to estimate that. Maybe someone with more experience in other sports can, give a sense of like what either data or just their feel is on that matter. We're at the point though where I think we look for a one-off center, just in case McKinnon has a down stretch. There's also the possibility to grab a Strome or a is PLD. No, PLD's there too.
Yeah.
There's the possibility to grab one of these two.
Yeah.
That gets us into a 5 Washington stack, which is fine. I think we're on track to do something like 4 Colorados, and we could even go 6 Washington. What are your thoughts on like grabbing a Devon Tays or going 6 Washington here?
God,
because the Colorado options are obviously pretty weak at this point.
This feels like a scenario, right? Let's consult the standings for a second here, and let's consult this. I feel like this is another scenario. I can't draft, so I could say this is what I would do. Can't do it exactly. Let's pull up to make the playoffs. Let's look at the West for a second. Oh boy. I was going to say, is this a Quinn Hughes scenario? But they're 26% now. Yikes. Just because they're in the Colorado side at this point too. Huh. Right. Not that. Yeah, definitely. I would take Lehkonen. I mean, you got to take a D at some point, but man, your D is.
I think the play might be to take Chychrun.
Chychrun Carlson.
Yeah, take Washington to the Cup. You grab one of these two. Do you have a preference between Strome, Dubois? I kind of want to go Dubois, which is why
I would go Dubois. I go Dubois. Yeah, I think I go. I mean, either are fine. You only have McKinnon. You have 4 wingers. One of those wingers is Ovi. I mean, I think again, like my like looking at this team, taking a step back, not thinking about the correlations and whatnot, like thinking about just this team scoring enough points to win round one is kind of where my head goes right now. Of like, what do you need to win round one? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It feels like you need a couple pieces that are actually like super high upside, even though they don't fit, right? And like, what are those pieces? Like Quinn Hughes is a perfect fit, but if they miss the playoffs, well, he gets you 0. So that's not good, just because of the lacking of defense you have. But on the same token, that is it the perfect fit? Is the perfect fit to say, not really Ottawa in this scenario because they're almost definitely playing Washington. No. Yes. No.
If there's a possibility, I'm not taking 2 Brady shots. Jesus Christ, that sounds awful.
Yeah, sure.
That sounds like the exact opposite of how I want to spend my streaming hours. I grabbed a few options as one-off pieces. We could even do mini stacks. I believe we'll have 4. Yeah, we'll have 4 Colorado, 6 Washington after this upcoming pick here. So we can go 6-4-2. We can go 6-4-1-1. I think Kempe, Dorofeyev, and Bjorkstrand make great sense. Kaprizov is interesting. Obviously, we have Colorado like in the second round, but like, if Kirill Kaprizov is fully healthy, like, good God. We also could go Bratt for the same reason. Washington in round 2, but Jesper Bratt is going to be the engine of this offense right now. So all right, I'm just going to take Dubois. I don't really care about Dylan Strome, and I think PLD is still with Ovi for the moment. All right, one-off piece. What about a Kempe Fiala? Did anyone grab Fiala yet? No, I don't
see it. Yeah, I mean that's fun.
Right,
Minnesota probably mix in on the other side as well, but Kaprizov feels like he's coming back. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
and it feels like any day now, but yeah, you take the.
I let you have Dorofeyev. I wasn't even paying attention to that, but that would have been very funny if I had sniped you on the Theodore Hurdle Dorofeyev.
Oh my god! Yeah, I probably would have just quit.
Yeah,
if you don't get Dorofeyev, did you even draft?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so at this point, maybe looking back, grabbing a Brock Nelson or a Druin. Of course, someone grabbed Fiala. Okay, so what about a one-off from the East? Just in case, Colorado makes it and Washington doesn't. I don't really want to draft a defenseman, though. Like, just kind of screw it. Just going to punt the 0 if it comes down to that.
Brady. Okay.
Perhaps I'm just not that interested. What are the Rangers odds at this point? Is Panarin's an option?
20.4.
No, they'll get Washington. They'll get Washington. So no, we wouldn't want that.
Well, sounds like a coward move, but fair enough.
Yeah, I think Bjorkstrand's the play here. I mean, they've used him on the top power play. They really want to get him into that Stamkos position. It doesn't work. Does that change? And he gets back to a line 3 power play 2 role by playoff time. It's possible, but I kind of think he's just a solid bet for upside here. That I don't know. Like, I don't really see much else that I'm jumping through tables to get my hands on at either center or defense.
Oh, yeah, this is a weird team you got here, but I like it.
Who's drafting Mason Lowry? Jesus.
Yeah, I got bad news for Boston.
What does David Pastrnak not have an ADP, but Lowry does?
Someone made a boo-boo. Boston is 0.5% to make the playoffs.
That's awesome. All right.
I mean, it's.
Are you just vehemently against this? Like, are you just like Team Brady or what?
I actually think I'm Team Brady. He would go to the Atlantic. And they have him very, very, very likely to wild card 1. They are 67.9%. think that's probably about right. They're going to be on the other side. He gets you so many points. I just think this team needs more upside.
Yeah, I just don't think Brady Kachuk is the definition of upside in a playoff
You have 3
series.
seconds. Take your guy. Take your Bjorkstrand.
Take our guy. I'm not letting you disown Oliver Bjorkstrand, DJ.
Let's get Kaprizov still on the board.
I believe so.
Oh my God. They're 94% to make the playoffs, and he's like nearing a return.
That is interesting.
I am losing my mind. They are wild card 1. So they're not going to play. They're going to be in the Central. No, they wouldn't be, because Winnipeg. Yeah, you probably should take Kaprizov. What are we saying?
All right. We have 3 minutes till 2:00, so I'm just checking.
It is 11-7 officially for the Sabres, but our Docker makes his first start for the Sabres. So they are 11-7.
Konechny. You're speaking my language.
I did, that, and then nothing weird for Dallas. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we're hitting the hour mark. I'm probably gonna focus on the bets. Oh wow, that looks fun. The early games didn't look good. The first 3 looked pretty bad. I did bet McLeod plus 126 for a point. I worry about the power play role, but it feels like if they were gonna make any change, it would be to bring him back on. He was the 6th man over the board for the notorious. Well, actually, I don't think that counted because they didn't. Yeah, no, it didn't count. He got power play one time, but it wasn't then because they didn't get the power play because they scored on their own goal.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. I think he sees some run there, but I think plus 126 for him is fine. But everything else seems pretty stinky. That every game looks bad until the Blues. And there's 14 games, so I don't need to do anything. I can do whatever I want. Any questions?
No, I think you nailed it.
Looking over.
Do you want to do one more draft, or are you done? Does that mean?
What do you want to do? One more?
I'm down to do one more.
All right, screw it. Let's do one more.
All right. I'm hopping. I think I just.
Oh.
It's closed out of the window for some reason. Because I'm
knocking over my green screen.
Good. Great.
I go to the simulator at 3:30 to golf.
Yeah, St. John's plays at 2:40. So just enough
time. Yeah. Was really hoping to golf outside this weekend, and it snowed a little bit this morning here in Buffalo. So not today.
Brutal.
I have one day where I could have golfed outside. Didn't take it. I'm actually thinking about just going to the park and hoping that I'm going to check if it's like the holes are in, if the flags are in yet. And then if they're in, I might just go over there and golf for free because it won't be open, but it's a park anyone can just walk into. It's not.
Yeah.
So I might try to hit some balls outside tomorrow if possible.
I am currently watching the loading screen of death here. So I will join a draft when I am able.
Yep. If anybody has any golf tips, please put them in the chat.
There we go.
My goal this year is to truly and accurately break 90, like a real break 90. So that's where I'm at. Like I've been actually close, which is a good step in but like I mean like every single stroke counting break 90, not a few mulligans here or there. Like count like last year I went out towards the end. I was like, no matter what, I'm not taking a single mulligan, no matter what happens. And I shot a 92 one day with my closest. So I'm not good at golf. That is not to say I'm good, as I just clearly said. But Matt, what was your golf game at these days?
I haven't been out in a year, I think, but I'm actually going to Ocean City with my dad and some of his buddies, Brian and Brian's son, and a couple other from the Rochester area. We're going to Ocean City, Delaware to golf on, I think it's Masters week. What day does the Masters start? Like this?
I think it's June 5th.
No, Masters Sunday is when we leave. So whenever that is.
I thought that, honestly, I'm not even, I only thought that because I feel like I remember my friend going to a bachelor party that weekend. And I think my friend said, oh, that's the Masters weekend too. And I was like, Well, we'll be gambling. I mean, that was already going to happen. So I thought that was right, but I could be wrong.
Okay, hold on. Let me just make sure. Yeah. Yeah, leaving Sunday the 13th for it. But obviously it's like, 2 hours for me. So
I'm thinking of the wrong tournament then. Because that is
you
not what I'm doing.
you are thinking of the US Open in Pittsburgh, right?
Maybe I am.
Because it's the first weekend in June or whatever.
Oh, it's the second weekend in June.
Oh yeah.
I'm not doing anything. I think I was thinking of that, but I am actually wrong.
Because the reason I remember this is because obviously DJ's bachelor party is of much critical acclaim in the Discord, and
it's gonna be
his
fun.
2 options were the middle or the first week of May, going to Pittsburgh, by the way, not like a destination where it's warm, that time of year. It'll hopefully be nice, or the weekend in June for the US Open that is just outside of Pittsburgh. And we couldn't do it because he has to go on a couples retreat or whatever this bachelor party is, and they wouldn't move it. So, yeah, good times. And your friends are great, DJ.
My friends are great. I mean, yeah, no, it's gonna be stupid. I think that the actual only problem that I'm running into in any capacity is Pittsburgh is like okay, we're gonna have like 20 bros hanging out, drinking, gambling, doing all this stuff. They gotta eat, right? Gotta eat food. Can't just not eat. And every place I look at, it's like, we do not take reservations. And I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna show up with like 20 guys. So it's I don't know. Not worried about Friday. I'm just worried about Saturday, really, because like things could be. We're not going anywhere nice. We're not like. I mean, there are places that will take reservations, but those places are like, oh, for parties more than 12, you need to book a bunch of nonsense. And like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to steak. I want to just like hang out. So I think we'll just probably have to graze as we go, or go to like, what's it called? Last time I was at a bachelor party, we went to like Raising Cane's, and I'm like, this is actually perfect. This is fantastic.
Yeah, we should just order like a shit ton of sandwiches from somewhere.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring the
7 bags of chips or whatever.
There's one place I want to go to on Friday because our one friend that has celiacs can eat there, and I know that because my fiance has celiacs, and we ate there, and it's unbelievable. It's like a place that just was like, oh yeah, we just like have a separate cooking area because like whatever. And it's like barbecue, but they make like, it's crazy stuff. And it's a brewery technically, but they don't make their own beer there. It's like a chain of breweries. It's called Fat Heads.
What'd you call me?
You heard me.
We need one more to draft, by the way. Hop in a Zamboni lobby. This will be the final draft for the stream. So, yeah, if you want to get in Zamboni drafts, I'm pretty sure this is the only time since it's open that we filled 3 drafts in an hour. So,
yeah, I know this is. Oh, I thought I just started for some reason.
Well,
we talk about the slate a little bit right now. I'm looking at a little Holloway, Cairo Point, Horvat 3 shots so far. Those seem to stand out to me pretty big. Who is shooting again? Cale Makar? Question mark. For everything that has not started yet. Because I like this. I mean, this St. Louis side seems pretty jammable for points. Chicago is just giving up the most they're not giving up a ton of shots because they're just giving up so much high danger that it's getting scored against them that the teams are not shooting a ton of volume, but the goals look really good there. You know what game looks really bad that I want to talk about? Like I can't believe how bad that Boston is. To look this bad against San Jose it's astounding.
Yeah,
like that's a miracle.
Their offensive creation is just non-existent. Yeah, I mean, New Jersey, San Jose is obviously a team that you can target. They're, it's a positive matchup for the Bruins. I don't have the main slate up, but I'm going to guess David Pastrnak has pretty solid expected fantasy point numbers in a positive matchup. So it's not like oh, you can't play Pasternak, but it's really tough to get to stacking options around him.
Yeah, no, I know it's. I mean, yeah, it's one-off Pasternak night potentially, and I just don't want any part in it. I feel like it's.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't get much uglier than that. I was pretty shocked to see just how bad they looked, but they only have one player that is, well, two. I think Lohrei is actually good. Funny enough, he came up with someone drafting him, but it's just, boy, that is tough scenes. It's the only thing Sabres fans have going for them is that Boston looks worse than them, even though they're going to finish higher, in the standings. Like,
yeah.
If you would have told me Boston's missing the playoffs and it's going to be Ottawa and Montreal that may get over Buffalo, I would have probably just shut it down for the year and hibernated.
Yeah. No, it's
brutal.
It's not fun. Yeah, we're not having any fun here.
Remember when the Sabres were fun for one season and everyone was like, oh man, it's time.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Still need one to draft, people. Just let's get in there, get this final draft underway so that I can be done before St. John starts.
Yeah. I tried to click the button again. It doesn't work.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I did it out of respect to my psyche, just to make sure I knew that it didn't work.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. It definitely doesn't. I played hockey last night for an hour and 50 minutes, and I am very tired, and that happened too. I got a new stick, and it's an Okposo curve, and that's a weird curve. I'm not used to it yet. That's another thing that's going on in my life. Bad at golf, bad at hockey. Bad at drafting now. Can't even do it.
Let's take a look. Okposo with stick curve.
I don't even.
I don't think this has actual.
Does it show it? Yeah.
Right? No.
No.
I don't know why.
It's more like a Monty, I feel like, but yeah, none of these. I don't think. Look up Kyle Okposo Bauer stick. Maybe someone's posted a stick that they got that has him. That is the type of stick I have.
Stick, just not the.
Yeah, it doesn't show the part that matters.
Yes. Still need one. All right, I bet this has to be right.
You would think, but honestly, does it like so? Oh, that's not that curve. So I don't know.
No.
I don't think. I mean, it's not a P92. That's like a pretty standard stock curve. Someone looked like they were either selling one at one point or whatnot on that one thing. That would be the only way. If you could click through.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Actually, no."
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna. I don't think they sold it. Like you had to have found one pro stock that he had, and that is the exact stick type I have.
Mm-hmm.
I like the stick a lot. Is there anything more to it? Oh yeah, I think that click through.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that is it. It's a little flatter and it's got a little bit of a toe curve, and I do like the like when I'm warming up, I feel like I have so much control over the puck, and then when I get tired, I don't use it anymore. My passing is better. I'm telling you, there's something he was onto with passing, but controlling the shot, it's just different. I was using Rasmus Kapari's stick before, which was a very normal stick and curve and things. And then I cut it, so it's not a 95 bucks anymore. It was very long.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a lot. That looks cut too, though. It looks cut a lot. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But that is exactly the stick. It's like a $400 stick I got for $200, brand new in the bag. So I'm like, whatever. I'll get used to this curve. I'm not good anyways, and haven't gotten used to it yet. Any thoughts on Tampa tonight? What is their lineup these days? I don't see it anywhere.
Tampa and Utah. Yeah.
Tampa, Utah. I know. I like that matchup.
What time's that game? 4 o'clock?
4, I think. Yeah.
All right,
Just
people.
if this isn't
I'm
filling
giving
like
it.
4 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving it to 2:15, and then if it's not filled at 2:15, I'm out.
Yeah, I gotta start getting ready and do a couple things. I was maybe gonna get a little more coffee in me because played hockey until 11:40 last night. Got to bed around 1, which is normal,
All right,
really though. That's the thing. It's like, wait, what?
DJ. Right now, 10-1 odds or more. Who's your pick to win the Stanley Cup?
I mean,
Sorry. I
I
meant 20-1 odds. Who's your
oh
dark
god,
horse?
dark horse. Let me pull up. Let's look at the odds.
Here, yeah,
Can I look at the
I'll read
odds?
them
Is
out.
that okay? Yeah,
I
read
will
them
read
out.
them out. LA Kings 20, Devils 30, Wild 30, Senators 35, Rangers, Canucks, Detroit, CBJ, Boston, Islanders all 100 or
God,
more. Or sorry,
I just,
Rangers are 55 and Vancouver 75. But any of those teams, like if they make the playoffs, do you feel good about them, or are you just kind of like a favorites only this season?
I honestly, I think it's Ottawa. I really do. Like, I think that they're so good defensively that if the goaltending and like Olmark, I think has that in him to be that good, that to carry them through a round or two. The problem really is just actually scoring the goals. But yeah, I think I have to go Ottawa. I mean, LA is a clear, like, if they're 20-1, it makes logical sense. But I just don't know if I trust RC Kemper enough and really that decor entirely to carry through multiple rounds. Like, I think they could win a round, but I think Ottawa, like, actually has what I would consider a top 5 defense. And if the goaltending can catch fire, if Olmark can be at 100% for a stretch, like, I believe in him as a true number 1. So I think it's Ottawa. Never touching the Devils. Never. Man, part of me wants to say the Wild though, but I don't think I can do it.
I'm now looking.
How have you not clicked on the Blues yet?
That's what I'm. Yeah, 200-1. I'm like, wait a second. They're plus 170 to make the playoffs. They've been the league's best defensive team for a
Yeah, they're
month.
actually. And again, what was the problem going into this year with them? It was defense, right? Everyone looked at
Yeah,
that blue line and said they sucked. But I feel like when your
yeah.
forwards are all so good
They
defensively, other than really just, well, I mean, that's the thing. You watch them play, or even just look at the numbers, and it's like they only have one line that tries to produce offense at a large level. I mean, the Thomas line will, but truly that line doesn't generate as much at 5-on-5, even close to the Holloway line, and everyone else just shuts everyone down. And that their games are 3-1. But if Bennington can win games, I mean, say what you will, he is a game winner. So
and their first round matchup is almost certainly going to be the Winnipeg Jets, who
notoriously,
notoriously don't fare too well in the playoffs. And then they get the remnants of Colorado and Dallas, who are just going to fucking hammer each other for 6 or 7 games, probably.
yeah, Rantanen and McGinning could both be dead. They could
Yeah.
kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's certainly dumber things you could do with your money than bet 200-1 on St. Louis to win the cup. And really the reason is because what is the model going to do if they win the first round? Like, what are their odds now? Like, could you just cash it out, right? I mean, it's like, what, like, is it a better bet if you could find the bet, like, for St. Louis to win a round in the playoffs right now? I don't know if it's even an option because they're clearly not in, versus what you would get to cash out a Stanley Cup bet at 200-1 if they're in the second round, right? I don't know. I mean, that's just sort of my brain trying to think through what the algorithm's going to do.
2:15 on the dot. The draft fills.
It filled. I know. That's just, someone was just sitting there like, I need to keep listening to these fucking idiots talk. I'm in.
You guys are such trolls. Yeah.
These stupid assholes are not. They're not done. I mean, it's definitely 3 interesting drafts. I'm going to continue to gamble, and I'm gonna read off a couple. Do you think Victor Hedman for 3 shots plus 120?
Does Jay have his thing updated? I'm actually wondering if.
Crap, I forgot to pull that up. I think he did.
Yeah, let's just take a look. I'll drag it over. In this draft, we have Chris, Lego, Mitchie. Thanks for joining us. Knuckle and McCurd. So Mitchie, maybe the last man in. We'll see. But anyway, Victor Hedman.
Oh, crap.
Plus 120 over 2.5 on the dot.
That's funny.
So, yeah,
I mean, he is shooting. That is certainly the case.
Yep.
Oh. Him. I don't hate Kucherov either, really, but this feels like a shot. What a Gensel? What's Gensel looking like? Gensel's shooting again. Plus 105.
I think David at 4 or Draisaitl at 4. I'm going to see if I can get a McDavid Matthews pairing. The people don't want me to have that. I would be too powerful.
I've done it, I believe, actually. Let me actually look at my 3 teams really quickly. I do have one that I think is not dead, but I drafted Vancouver, I'm pretty sure, on one team because I was like, well, they're not going to miss at whatever point that was. And boy, Matthews, Eichel, Hurdle, Nylander, Marner, Kaprizov, Stone, Theodore, Chikrin, Riley, Hill, Wool. So a Toronto, Vegas. Didn't get Dorofeyev, so I lose. McDavid, Strome, Dubois, Hyman, Ovi, Wilson, Nugent Hopkins, Hagel, one-off, Bouchard, Carlson, Chikrin, Stuart Skinner. And where's my Quinn Hughes team? Is this one? McDavid with just Hyman, and then I abandoned ship because I couldn't get any Edmonton, and I went Point, Kucherov, Hagel, Gensel, Hedman, Vasilevsky, and then Joel Eriksson Ek, Kaprizov, Boldly, Quinn Hughes, Vasian's only goalie. I don't think any of those teams are bad, but
no.
the Minnesota stack looked a lot better a little while ago. Oh, man.
I'm guessing Bouchard goes here.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no. We got Bouchard.
Just trying to log into Puckluck, and I'm getting all this.
I mean, if they're going to gift us McDavid, Matthews, and Bouchard, I think I just grab Skinner here and make sure that... Oh, shit. I forgot. We're not back-to-back. Damn it. Well, McCurdy's
and
take him.
I was going to say, the Leon team could really give it.
Oh, well.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to ask an interesting question, as McCurdy's probably ruins your draft. You have Toronto here, and I just went over a team I believe I had with Wool. I think he was my last pick in. I decided, fuck it, I'm taking Wool. Are you you know what? I'm taking Toronto. I have a Toronto stack. I'm taking Wool. I'm taking Stolars. Are you a lean either way, or a boy, I don't want to play those reindeer games?
I'm a dyed in the wool guy, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah. I honestly, I think that's very exactly the correct answer. Hey, I mean, he had both goalies. He had both options, and he already had Kale Nachos. Right. So he takes Blackwood, and you get the Stuart Skinner.
Yep.
Donkey. I mean, this is shaping up to be the team I had, only not Bouchard, but Hyman instead. And I think Hyman's still on the board for you. So you could, there's still quite a bit of actually all of the boys. You got to queue up Victor Arvidsson before Nylander and Marner. Smart.
I don't think. I'll take Marner. I don't think Nylander's getting to us.
I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised. There goes Nylander. There goes Marner.
All right. I'm fine. Almost not ditching Matthews, but coming back later if we need like a Nyes or something. But looking at other options basically, because I think we get Hyman here, and then we can go almost anywhere else in the East that we want to outside of Tampa, probably. Like we can go Carolina again. We could go Nico Timo. Yeah. So I think Hyman's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I think Hyman's obvious. Can I ask you about Hyman tonight? I mean, is there any interest in saying Seattle's so bad that you don't even care?
I haven't looked at the slate, honestly. I don't know. Is he playing with Adam Henrique and Jeff Skinner?
I retweeted the lines. If you give me a second, I can pull them back up again. We have.
All right, actually, we need
Where the hell are they?
We need to do hockey things. All right. You know what? I am going to just make the decision. Let's grab some Devils. Let's just do it. Let's just say Jack Hughes, Jack who, and we grab Nico, we grab Timo. Maybe someone else takes the idea and runs with it. But just thinking about the team build, we're basically looking at our 6 Edmonton. We add on an Arvidsson or a Skinner late. And then we have Matthews. We don't get Matthews' 2 best wingers. So why not just build like a 4-man New Jersey team? Something like that. Any thoughts there?
I agree. Honestly, I think that this is probably going to be a bit of a unique Edmonton scenario and really a unique Edmonton market right now that might not exist in.
Is there an elite one-off here that you would like?
Gensel, maybe one-off is kind of strong, but no, he's on the same side.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're out of time.
Yeah, Arvidsson's fine. I'll live with that. Because I don't really think we're fighting much ADP wise.
All right, I'm gonna read.
I unstarred Timo. I was like, Jesus Christ, did someone really grab Timo?
I'm gonna read off the Edmonton lines and power play for you quickly, just so everyone's aware. Line 1, at least, is what they're considering is Podkolzin, RNH, Arvidsson. Line 2, Perry, Henrique, Hyman. Line 3, Skinner, Janmark, Brown. Yeah. Power play was Bouchard, RNH, Skinner, Arvidsson, Hyman. I kind of like Arvidsson.
I'm not touching Zach Hyman here. He's on the line with Corey Perry, who's like just a worse version of Zach Hyman. I don't know.
I kind of like Arvidsson to get 3 shots. I feel like Arvidsson's only issue with getting the 3 shots is, the opportunity, but he's going to play.
Yeah.
So I kind of think, that's what Puck Luck's going to like. I'm sure of it. Well, him and Bouchard are kind of like the same, but the odds are better on Arvidsson over Bouchard.
Is it Bouchard? Douglas versus Luke Hughes?
Oh, God. Isn't Dougie done for sure?
They said he's done for the regular season.
Done play in.
I think he's like basically Miro.
Seven days ago.
I would say Luke Hughes is a pretty good option in either case. Like he's playing a shit ton even with Dougie in the lineup.
Tom Fitzgerald said if they advance to the second round, they could consider him to come back.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
they could consider him if they advance to the second round is tough, but
that's not great. I'll give you that, because basically the outlook here would be the 6-man Edmonton, the McDavid, Hyman, RNH, Arvidsson, Bouchard, Skinner, and then Austin Matthews. And then you could do something like Nico, Timo, and then go elsewhere, or you can just do a 6-5-1 and just say, these are the 2 teams.
You're in round 9 right now? I definitely take Timo here.
Like these would be the
no doubter,
these would be the 3 players left to pick. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't. Fun. I'm not taking Dougie at this point, personally, but I do think the fact that you're saying they're gonna make something out of nothing. But the Bouchard 1 defenseman it's in play. I leave Luke and see what happens. Probably want to go 2 goalies. I'd agree there. Like Stuart Skinner, is it really going to be the carry the team on his back type of guy?
Yeah, the one-offs from the Central, Sagan, Miss Nick Ehlers on the board.
Yeah, Sagan back practicing today, and it looked like basically in full. Feels like they're really thinking he'll be back.
Yeah.
I guess it's pick your poison here. You want to just ensure the Markstrom of it all. I can't imagine someone sniping on Jesper, but
yeah, no. And if someone takes Brad, whatever, I certainly don't need that. Because I mean, the thought is if Edmonton doesn't make the final and New Jersey does, you're probably okay with 5 New Jersey pieces. Like, it's not like we're really thin to be up against 17 full on New Jersey plus opponent stacks in the final. So I'm just sort of following the data with that one and just saying, we have our big stack. Let's just grab a second big stack and just say, okay.
Oh God.
Play ball.
Dallas is already up 2-0.
Philly.
Goals scored by. Take your guesses.
Rupe Hintz.
Nope.
Me and Bichelle.
No. I will give you two hints. I'll also say that 0 points from the top line, as to be expected. One, it was his 14th of the year, and one, it was his 5th.
Michael Granlund?
Nope. Granlund did get an assist, though.
Marchment?
No.
He has more than that. All right, who has 5? Blackwell.
He has an assist as well, but not a goal.
All right, Oscar back.
No. They're both defensemen.
Oh, Jesus. Essa Lindell.
Yep.
And
who has 14 goals as a defenseman. I mean, this isn't hard.
The Harley Goldberg. Yeah.
Harley from Blackwell and Steel and Lindell from Granlund and Duchesne. Oh, the Slabbies are being punished today.
Yep. Just very painful. Wait.
As one would expect.
Wait, did Lankinen get hurt? He has 3 saves?
I think that's accurate. I'm pretty sure they have 3 shots on goal. I think that's not wrong, actually. Let me look.
It is 20-3.
20-3, yeah. Dude, the Rangers are quitting. Like, it's pretty impressive how bad they are.
Awesome. All right.
So, you did get Pratt. By the way, if anyone was wondering at home, we have one more pick?
No, we're done.
Oh, you're done. Oh, you got Luke. Oh, you took Luke and Brett. Okay.
Yep. So
read off the team, and then this was
Chris. Chris at the 1, McKinnon. So he did the thing where he took McKinnon and Dallas. I can't imagine that's gonna bear fruit. He went full on Colorado, Dallas, Toronto. You're really hoping for a 7-game series in that, like, I don't even know what that the winner just goes apeshit for the rest of the playoffs, I guess, because you're just losing so much of your team, or something crazy happens down the stretch here, and they fall out of that matchup. There's Lego going Dallas and Tampa, adding on the Kaprizov Boldy at the end, along with a Bjorkstrand Sorelli. Let's see, did Lego get 6 of one of these teams? Or what's the build? Is it a 4-4-2-2? I think this is a 4-4-2-2. I will tell you, Lego, this was like all of my teams from last year, and I fared horribly, and they simmed horribly. So just, I'll keep that in mind. I thought this was the right play too, but I'm pretty convinced that it's not after running through that process that I've written about and talked about now. Mitchie, Florida, Vegas, very straightforward. I don't think he strayed. Yeah, he literally just took 6-6, whatever. It's not a terrible build. It doesn't sim quite as well as the more elaborate, like 6-4-2, those types of builds that just give you a little bit more flexibility. But it fares just fine in the sims. We have the 6 McDavid with the 6 Edmonton and a late New Jersey stack of 5 with Austin Matthews. Knuckle goes Winnipeg and Washington. Wonder where he got that idea from. And actually, now the drafts are blended together. I don't think that's what we did last time. We did Colorado and Washington. Never mind. Great job, Knuckle. You did it. And McCurds, once again, the Edmonton, Colorado, Carolina, with some Tampa added on at the end in a set of 6. Yep, a 6, 1 Edmonton, 3 Carolina, and probably 2 Tampa. Yep, 2 Tampa. All right, so that's that draft, and that'll do it for us here. Thank you all for hanging out. We'll do more stuff like this down the stretch. Big announcement. Let's see. Did I screw up the? I might have screwed up counting. I don't know.
You can't count. I know that.
I literally can't count. Yep, I just recounted. That's it. Tampa was not a 2 stack at the end. It was also 6 Chris, on top of the. Okay,
which one? Yeah, Chris, you got to be more specific on which manifesto.
Yeah, I'm just dramatically stupid. You're good. All good.
The one against Dakota Joshua or the one that he did for Zamboni? We're gonna have to check. All right, Matt, finish what you were saying. You're about to make a big announcement. I had to make it.
Yeah, the big announcement is the Morning Skate Pod Boys will be making an appearance on the Badge Bros on Tuesday afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern. We will be drafting a Zamboni draft with at least John. I'm guessing Nez will be back by then. I'm not sure. I have not gotten.
We need him to be. I'm gonna make because he's from Pittsburgh.
We do. Jesus Christ! We can just add him. Just ask him what to. Just ask him what's to stop by. I think he lives in Texas now, but hey, maybe he'll make the trip up with the Oklahoma State football team for the party.
I'm gonna say that because I think it was Diego and one other guy were asked about drafters. I hadn't even thought about drafters until right this second. Like, I feel bad saying that because I do really like the product, but I haven't even considered the fact that I could probably go over there and draft. And I have money in my account, so I might look into that. Didn't think about the fact that do they have a playoff best ball con? I didn't even know. Didn't even know.
Yeah, it's the same. Same as their normal. You just cumulative scoring.
There you go.
I can't draft it here in Pennsylvania, no.
I have my drafters teams are not great. Out of 78, but I have a lot in the money, but just so many that are nothing way up there. So I'm gonna have to look over some of that. 45th is my best. So we'll see where I land.
All right. Let's get out of here. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Best of luck on this Saturday if you are in the NHL streets or any of the other sports out there. And thanks to you all for drafting alongside us, for commenting. It means a lot that we actually have people who make time out of their lives to pay attention to us. So hopefully you get as much out of it as we do. DJ, feel free to close us out.
Yeah, no, wish I could be drafting along with you and drafters once they put up their contest. I guess I will. Have a good Saturday. Yeah, bets are about to get posted for everything. We just wanted to wait the extra 5 minutes to see St. Louis lines just to be 100%, but we'll be posting them right after this. And then, we'll be sweating along, hopefully some big money. But yeah, from Doug, from Matt, and myself, have a good Saturday, everybody, and we will see ya.